Welcome back. I'm Bob Hall, and today we're going to be doing a quick review of the JIve system in order to be able to manage your telephone through a web browser, either on your computer or in your view session. For those of you who saw my first video, this should be fairly familiar to you. This is the landing page after you've logged into the JIve portal, and it gives you the ability to be able to do some personal preference updates, change your passwords, those kind of things, as well as log into either JIve online or to GoToMeeting. Today, we're going to be clicking where it says web or on the logo itself to be able to log into the JIve system. First time that you go in here, you will take a few seconds to get in while it configures and compares to make sure that your computer and or virtual desktop is able to support the JIve platform. And then afterwards, it just does like what happened there. It takes a couple seconds and you're in place. Once you've logged into the JIve phone system, this is the landing page that you get. It's got some unique features to it, which we're going to run through. The first thing I'd like to talk about is what we see here under favorites and conversations. So under conversations, this is every number that you've dialed or that has dialed you in the past recent history. Okay, so I think this is about, if I look here, probably about a week's worth of dialing where I've used my JIve extension to dial out to people or to receive calls. Up at the top under favorites, you can set in here who it is that you most commonly call. So in my case, I call Andrew quite a bit, I call Rena quite a bit, Brenda, and the Toronto boardroom. On the left-hand side, we have a couple of things we can do. If we click on top of my picture, you can change what picture you have for the phone system. It also changes it on GoToMeeting and on the core platform. We also have what's home. So anytime that you see the little house there, if you click on that, you will always come back to this landing page. So no matter how lost you get, you'll be able to find your way back. The next one down is kind of neat. This is a phone. So you actually can use the telephone, your extension number, through a web browser, either on your PC physically or inside of your view session. Now it's after hours. Usually I would use Rena and give her a call. But instead what I'm going to do, just so that you guys can see how this works, I'm going to quickly dial the main number to our office in Ottawa. Now I'm typing those numbers in with my mouse. You could use the keyboard on your computer if you wanted to. After you have it the way you like it, and you don't need to have a 1 in there for long distance numbers, you click call. And in a second, you're going to see that this is my message history. So this is the first time I've actually called that. And it's answered the telephone. On the right side here, we have the ability to be able to mute during a call. We have a keypad if we want to be able to press numbers, so we'd like to listen to English, so we're going to press 1. We have some settings. We can put the call on hold. So now that call is on hold. If we click it again, we can take it off of hold. We can conference by adding another person in there. We can call an extension or another telephone number. We can click transfer, and we can transfer a call to another number if we want to take this call later and transfer it over to our cellular phone. And we can park it, although we don't use parking here in Ottawa, so that's a button that we normally wouldn't use. So I'm going to go ahead and hang up the call. But that shows you how quickly you can make a telephone call right from your computer and take advantage of the speakers as well as the microphone that's built right into the system. If you have a headset and you plug it into the computer, it works beautifully. I use mine quite frequently just on the computer. It all depends on the quality of the machine that you're using, but it does a great job allowing you to be able to make telephone calls. The next option on here is called message. We don't use this. It's disabled on our system. It's set up so that people could, if they wanted to, be able to send short text messages across telephones inside of the organization to one another. It's not enabled for us, so we don't use that here in Canada. This guy here is going to be something that you're interested in. If you click on it, it gets you to your voicemail tab. Now I don't have any voicemails in my system because the way that I have it set up is that if somebody calls me and leaves a voice message, it sends it to me via email and then automatically deletes the message on here so that I don't have hundreds of them inside of my mailbox. This gives us the ability to be able to um, have it so that you don't have to log into your phone and listen to your messages. Instead, you get them on your email. And as a result, you don't have to delete them either, and you don't end up with a full mailbox. The next tab down is contacts. So this is everybody in the organization. You can randomly pick somebody that you want to call. If we, for example, were looking to call David Whittam, we would just click on here, and then we could click go, and it will ring him right at his desk. The next tab down is all about activity. So basically it's showing you everything that you've done here. In my case, I called the office. I called 3802 earlier to talk to Rena. I declined a call from Unitrends. So it shows everything that you've done. I called Andrew Fraser. I sent him a message that said I was free now as well. So there's a pretty good logging capabilities in here. You can scroll down and see your most recent activity. If you click on calls, it will only show you phone calls that you've received and sent. Okay, it doesn't show you all of that other detailed information. And again, this tab is redundant. It's voicemail, and we don't use messages. The next piece that I wanted to show you was this tab here, which says Open GoToMeeting. If we click on that, it will open up a new tab, and it will load up the GoToMeeting portal for you. So that's interesting to know. And then here we have contact center configuration. So you guys don't really have access to this. This is something that's a part of being the management in the system, but we do have the ability to be able to go in and monitor queues and see how things are working, make sure that we're checking logs and stuff like that if you guys are saying that you happen to not be receiving any calls. Down at the very bottom here is settings. If you click on this, you get a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. You can go in and actually set your settings. We'll do that in 1 second. You can click Do Not Disturb. If you do that, it'll stop the phone from ringing on the computer, but it will still ring on the other devices that you have. There's an abundance of help available online. You can go in and look at that. You can set up some keyboard shortcuts. So if you want to make it that you press Control A and answer the telephone while this application is open, you can do that. And then sign out. So when you're done, click sign out. And now we'll just check out the settings really quickly. Here we get to set up some of the stuff related to our voicemail and how we manage our different things for the phone. So we'll just kind of run through these quickly. Audio, basically, it lets you choose what the ringtone is going to be. Lets you check to make sure that your microphone is getting the input. If you're not seeing any blue lines there when you speak, then you know that it's not working properly. You could change the language, so it's by default sent up in English, but if you wanted to perhaps change it to Dutch or Portugal or whatever, you could. Devices, again, this tells you the devices that are physically tested or linked to your account. So in my case, I have 3 telephones that are linked to my extension 3824 and this JIve soft phone, which we're on right now. Under voicemail, we have the ability to do a little bit of setup here. So if you haven't done it already, I strongly recommend that you check off enable voicemail to email notifications so that you get any voicemail message that you get on your phone is sent to you via email. Put in your TIG email address in there. Okay. Enable voicemail recordings allows you to be able to create your own recordings on your voicemail. You can have multiple ones. You can have that turned on if you like to. This one here is really important. Delete messages after emailing a voicemail. I do this because I get quite a few messages during the day, and that means that I don't have to log into the mailbox and delete them manually on the telephone. It's done for me automatically. And then here we could change the password if we want to for what we would dial in on our phone. So if you've forgotten what your 4-digit password is, you can change it in here. Fax is available to us, although not used by anybody in Canada. You can set it up so that any time somebody calls your extension number directly and is trying to send you a fax, it will send you an email. They use that in the US. We don't really use that here. Find me, follow me. Many of you have this set up already, but I'm just going to quickly run through this for you, especially since we're working from home all the time now. If you don't want to use the web-based client for your extension, you could set this up so that it will call your telephone, instead of just going straight to voicemail. So you can click the plus sign here and add an additional number in here. It could be another extension number. Perhaps you're sitting at my office and you're expecting a call. You could have the number transferred over to there, so any calls that come in come to me. Or you could set it up to an external number, which would be your cell phone, right? So you could add in here your cell phone number, and away you go. No answer, send to voicemail. That's what we want to happen. That's after the fourth ring, it automatically goes to your voicemail. You could change this. You could say, okay, if there's no answer in 4 rings, let's send it to an external telephone number, which you would then put in your cell number. It's your choice on how you'd like to do that. We don't recommend it, because then if for whatever reason during the transfer it gets lost or gets hung up on, you don't get to talk to the person. You don't know they even called you, and you have no voicemail. At least if you let it go to voicemail, it will automatically take the message for you. If the call fails, send to. So nothing is specified here. How it works as a corporation is, if for whatever reason our phone system is down in Ottawa or Toronto, it automatically goes directly to your voicemail. You can change that. If you want it that if the phone system is down, you want it to automatically go to your cell phone, you can make that change in here. It's your choice. You can choose an external number, or you could choose, if you're, if you wanted to, you could choose an extension number in Toronto. If it's down in Ottawa, that would look after your calls for you. That is pretty much everything that you guys need to know about how to use JIve. We've gone through the settings. This X over here will close it, and you get back into your main channel here. And when you click on home, everything kind of comes back. So I think that's about all that I wanted to talk to you about today with respect to using the JIve portal online. And I'd like to just say thank you very much for watching this video, and come back and check out the one on GoToMeeting next. Thank you.